Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us as we finally wrap up the transfer window. Transfer deadline day. Yesterday, we were all up to date, up to yesterday morning. So, this is the final roundup video. As you can imagine, there are a lot of deals that went through yesterday. So, we will try and talk about each and every one. I may have strategically left out the odd youngster going out on loan or possible young squad signing brought in for the future. Please don't get too emotional about that if that player either signed and left for your club. And you were really hoping I was going to talk about it. But as you'll see as we get into this, there's a lot to talk about, so I will not stand on ceremony. And let's get into these deals. And finally, Josh King, Bournemouth to Everton. I mean, we've expected this since before September. We've expected this since Bournemouth went down. There was always just this sign that Josh King was just sort of doing what he needed to keep fit and keep in favour and, quote, be professional at Bournemouth. But it was very clear that they wanted to move him on and he wanted to move away. Last year of his contract, and I think he's 29, isn't he? Off he goes to Everton. It says a nominal fee, not an undisclosed fee. I guess that's different. Good record though. Look at that, 53 goals, including a couple of really good seasons in excuse me, the Premier League. 29, so ready to go. Experienced at Premier League level, not going to be expensive because of the contract running down. No brainer. Shame for Bournemouth, but we'll talk about their replacement in just a second. Finally, Josh King leaves Bournemouth. And there seems to be a direct replacement of sorts. Obviously, they've still got Dom Solanke and Arnott Danjuma and David Brooks and Sam Surridge, and I'm sure I'm missing out a couple up top there. But here's Shane Long, going to come in on loan. A bit of a no-brainer. Short-term solution, yes, but quite sensible, I guess. 34 years old, but Premier League level striker. Obviously at Southampton, doesn't have to move anywhere, can go straight in. And very much in the same terms I mentioned about Josh King, just ready to go. Are you building your club long-term around a 34-year-old Shane Long? No. But if you're a year one parachute team, you know the deal. Just get back up. That's the thing. So a bit of a no-brainer and a pretty sensible sign-in given King has gone. Someone else who's gone is Jack Simpson. He signed a pre-contract with Rangers, the centre-half there. He has gone full time out of Bournemouth as well. It's been a busy window there for the Cherries. Let's go to Swansea. This is Paul Areola, same as the Fulham goalkeeper, I think there. And it's another player from MLS and the US after Jordan Morris came last week into Swansea. 25 years old. He's on a loan. It says he's a winger, and then it says he can either play right wing back or right back as well. So just sounds like he's a right sider. Obviously, they've got Connor Roberts there, who's been very good. So not entirely sure where he fits in, but obviously good players always fit in. We've kind of said for a while, Swansea, it's up top and a dedicated striker that they need. I did see some reports this was a forward, but we'll see if he's a good player. He'll get in. And interesting, Swans. I know there's American ownership there. This is the market they're going for. With seen people try to use different markets over the years, maybe like a Brentford and Denmark and Norwich and Germany a couple of years ago. Maybe this is the next iteration of this. Arsene Wenger in France as well. Who could forget that? But there we go. Paul Areola in, not familiar with the player at all. But a club record $3 million was paid for him previously. So we will see if that was representative of his talent, then this may be a good one. Let me know if you know more in the comments. Another one into Swansea is Morgan Whittaker, who we think, and I don't want to be speculating about fees because it's nonsense and nobody really knows until about a year and a half afterwards. But we think maybe sort of 700,000 or $750,000 or thereabouts paid for Whittaker. It's a good signing. This one is, I think I've sort of seen him play forward or a wide forward for Derby. He's one of these Rams youth players there's this really, really good group. Forward options following injuries to Liam Cullen and Wayne Routledge. Again, does he feel like a dedicated number 9 striker? Maybe that's just not what Steve Cooper wants and how he wants to play, and I need to just get used to it. So, seems to be a good deal. They've kind of snuck in there prior to this mythical takeover that's going to happen at Derby. If you're from a Derby point of view, in terms of those young players, you would suggest that Buchanan and Bird and Sibley and Knight are ahead of Whittaker. So he's the one that you would sell if you had to sell one of them. Not that you might want to sell any of them. But in he goes to Swansea. Winston Reid into Brentford from West Ham. I didn't realise he'd played for Midtjylland, which Brentford had the big link with, where Matthew Benham, the owner, is the majority shareholder, and we've seen Marcondes go on loan there and come back again. So definite relationship there. No-brainer, really. The guy lives in London. He's experienced. He's played lots in the Premier League. He's a centre-half. He can come in on loan in the absence of Pontus Jansson. Adds a bit of depth. If he's going to be a starter, then Pinnock can move back over to the left-hand side. And then they've got Sorensen and Good as the backup. And you go back to a group of 4 centre-backs and it looks like there's a little bit more depth. And then there's less pressure to rush Jansson back. So bit of a no-brainer, that one. And would be an easy thumbs up for me. Iain Neeland, free agent into Norwich, ex-Aston Villa goalkeeper. I have to say, much maligned ex-Aston Villa goalkeeper. I think he was very accident-prone there. But Norwich just need cover. They need experience and cover in that position. Obviously, Krill has been out. I think it's been out twice this season. With COVID and with injury as well. And they've had to go with young Bardin, the reserve goalkeeper, and they just want someone more experienced. I dare say if Neeland on this short-term contract never plays a minute for Norwich, I'm sure Norwich fans will be perfectly happy, because that'll mean Tim Krul has managed to stay fit and stay on the pitch, which he's a very good goalkeeper at this level. So just some squad stuff for league leaders Norwich there. Here's the big one. Ben Davies, Preston to Liverpool. Now, I'm not going to say much on this because I did a separate video. So if you want to hear me on this, but in short, if you want to hear me on this, go to the other video. In short, perfect storm for Ben Davies. Good luck to him. Take the chance. A set of circumstances which means that Liverpool needed to do something and he's the beneficiary. What his involvement will be at Liverpool remains to be seen, but good luck to him, and I hope he can take the opportunity. Remember, contract running down, so they've cashed in, and you're not going to turn the guy the opportunity down to go and play for league champions Liverpool. On the flip side, here comes Sepp van den Berg, which must have been as part of the deal, season-long loan from Liverpool, 20-year-old Dutch centre-half. He will join the depth at centre-back and increase the depth for Preston. However, there is Liam Lindsay, who might be the more likely starter. We'll see. Don't know how they're going to both train, but Lindsay was in that good Barnsley team that got promoted under Daniel Stendhal, and then essentially sold all the good players, didn't they? Kiefer Moore and Adam Davis and Pinnock and Lindsay, just all left, and they had to start over. And Lindsay just hasn't really got in the team at Stoke, has he? So highly rated player at League One level, did very well there. Somewhat unproven a little bit, I guess, if you can't get in the Stoke team over there. So you would just think, I mean, I may be wrong, that it'll be Huntington and Lindsay with Vandenberg and as backup there. We'll see. It might be the other way round, but certainly they needed to bring in new faces after Davies left, so that makes sense. It's another one for Everton, Anthony Gordon. Don't know too much about the player, 19 years old. Everton just seem to farm these out all the time, have loads of good young players, and I think there's plenty been done up in the sort of northwest amongst these clubs with Everton loaning out, good youngsters. Attacking player, again, don't know too much about him, honestly, my bad. Looks like he's played in the Premier League, so again, you just never know with these young loan players. They sink or swim in the Championship, don't they? And we find out very soon whether they're going to boss it and be a Reece James type player, or whether, to use an Everton analogy, they're going to be a Luke Garbutt or a Matthew Pennington type player, where they do end up going through the Championship and signing permanently in League One or lower. We'll find out. Good luck to him and Preston. A really busy window there ending. It's Patrick Roberts, who has gone to Derby, and this is going to be the first of a slew of deals gone to Derby. There is domino effects at Boro as well, which we can talk about in just a sec. So quickly on Roberts, he's been at Man City for a while. He was at Celtic, wasn't he? Went on loan to Norwich in the Premier League. That didn't work. Then he went to Boro. That did seem to work, and then they re-signed him, but now not too interested. So speedy winger, just we hearing about the potential forever and a day, and whether he's going to be one of these players where it is just potential or now he finds it at Derby, we will find out. Rooney's been playing sort of one main forward and others off them. Josh Viak's been in one of those positions, Jason Knight, so maybe Knight could move back into sort of central midfield and Roberts could take up one of those positions. We will see. I suspect he'll get game time at Derby, and the reason that Boro will feel that they can let a winger go is they've brought in two. There is Neeskins Cabano, who, actually, look at that picture. I'm pretty sure that's in the playoffs. Was in rare old form in Fulham's promotion at the end of last season, wasn't he? And an absolute free kick machine as well. So he'll go and team up with Neil Warnock at Boro. He's only 28 and he's obviously been promoted out of the Championship twice with Jokanovic first and Parker there. And Warnock feels that's a better bet than Roberts. And in predictable news, there's a couple of these. Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, we said it when he went out of Cardiff that, he'll end up with Warnock. So two wingers there and another winger that's been promoted out of this league before, obviously with Cardiff and with Warnock. Let's not get into the whys and wherefores. We normally get the same rumours when a player is kind of had his contract cancelled, which is what happened to Mendes-Lang. We normally get the, he had an affair with the manager's daughter, or look at his physique, that can't be natural. I don't have a clue what went on. I won't pretend to know. I don't care, frankly. All I do know is Mendes-Lang has signed up with the manager that gave him his best sort of season in football, and we'll see if Warnock can rehabilitate him. And just this sense, Warnock loves his match winners, doesn't he? He's now got Balassi and Cabano and Mendes-Lang in this window. So we'll see if Warnock can do the business there with Mendes-Lang up at Boro. That kind of completes the Patrick Roberts winger circle around there. Back we go to Derby. It's Lee Gregory in from Stoke. And this is a no-brainer, isn't it? They managed to get an experienced Championship striker, did well in League One with Millwall and in the Championship with Millwall. Great partnership with Steve Morrison. They needed somebody up there. It was this craziness that they only really had Chris Martin when the season started, and he went out to Bristol City, and then Jack Marriott went on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. And other than Waghorn, who, as much as I like very much, seems to be a bit out of favour at Derby, that was all they had. Ended up bringing Kazim Richards in. So Gregory comes in. Will he start? Will he be coming off the bench? I don't know, really, because Kazim Richards does seem to be the kind of physicality and has the shirt. So Gregory's going to have to, and I don't really see Rooney going to 2 up top, and I don't see Gregory playing wide in a 3. That's not really his game, although he has done it for Stoke. So we'll see how that's used, but they definitely needed a body in there, and this guy at Championship level is a sensible one, isn't it? Just for Stoke, they seem to have been a bit light up top, and they're letting forwards go. They've got Fletcher there, obviously he's the first choice. Behind that, Vokes, I guess, but I'm just waiting for Tyrese Campbell to get back, aren't they? So yeah, Gregory into Derby makes a lot of sense. Here's a couple more into Derby. Ryan Edmondson, Rangers to Derby. That is a loan, isn't it? I believe it is. Excuse me, I don't even know. There, it doesn't say in the article. Defender in from Glasgow Rangers. Don't know too much about the player across the back. Derby have been fairly solid. They just lost Christian Bielik in, but he's been playing in midfield. I guess Matt Clark, Curtis Davis, Andre Wisdom. Wisdom is a right back, essentially playing at centre back. So I guess the need for some more depth there was obvious. In comes Edmondson. And good luck. Benny Baningime, if I'm saying that correctly, and I won't try and say it again. A former teammate of Derby boss Wayne Rooney from Everton. This is a midfielder, I believe. So that does look like depth, being Bielik is going to be out. Not too familiar with the player, and another one of Everton's many youngsters, like we said about Anthony Gordon. But again, Derby in the position they're in with possible takeover looming, can't really do much in terms of long-term deals. It makes sense, and if Bielik's out for a while, they do need depth in that area. And here's another one into Derby. Teden Mengi, if I'm pronouncing that right. If it's not Mengi, who cares, hey? You can see his picture and his name's written on the screen for any of you pedants who want to correct my pronunciation. 18 years old, further defensive option. So you would think a bench option there, unless he's particularly good. Lots of England representative games and played in the Europa League as well. But it does just seem like Rooney's just added some extra depth. I don't think he's too unhappy with a lot of his first team, and obviously defensively they've been excellent recently, Derby. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. One who goes out from Derby though, and they've got some money for him, is George Evans. He's still only 26. Quite a decent player actually, George Evans. And he'd been playing, he could either play centre back or in central midfield. And would I be right in saying he'd been with Rowett before he moves across to Millwall there, who've been reasonably busy, haven't they, this window? Kieften, Beld and Evans. Sounds like Rowett's just perhaps bringing in some familiar faces. I thought, did Lampard sign Evans? I can't quite remember. Evans made a permanent move to Reading, 2.5. Yeah, maybe Lampard signed it, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, versatile player in at Millwall, and if Millwall are going to continue with the 3 at the back, you do need. It's nice to have a player who can do both roles, and maybe both roles sort of simultaneously in a game there. And they've got a fee for him, and in Derby's predicament, waiting for a takeover, that'll do them no harm as well. Glenn Murray, well, what do we need to say? Glenn Murray and Anthony Knockaert now reunited with Chris Hughton at Forest. Is he going to play much? I don't know. He's 37. Last 30-goal championship scorer, known strongly to Hughton. Obviously, Lewis Grabban's there. Lyle Taylor's there. Murray joins up with them. Is it just experience? Ivic seemingly didn't fancy him at Watford. So in goes Glenn Murray. What impact he'll have on that squad actually on the pitch tangibly that we can see, I don't know. But surely a good guy to have around. I don't know how many minutes he'll actually get as his excellent career winds down. Elijah Adebayo. This looks fun, doesn't it? Turned 23 last month, 6'4" Londoner, who's been doing well for Walsall. Undisclosed fee. Is this the heir apparent to James Collins? I wonder. His contract's up at the end of the season, so nice to see Luton going to the League One well. Obviously, they dominated League One a couple of seasons ago, and perhaps they still know that terrain well in terms of being able to exploit it. So good luck to him in making the step up. And wow, I like this one a lot. Tom Ince on loan until the end of the season. Funny one, Ince. Seems to have been around forever. Has bossed the Championship before with Blackpool and Derby and scored plenty of goals. Promoted with Blackpool. Obviously never did it with Derby. Lots of big transfers in his career to Derby and Huddersfield and to Stoke. Obviously not needed at Stoke. Always looks like a high quality player. Can be frustrated, maybe a little bit greedy at times, but definitely a bit of quality in there. And I just like the fact that Luton have stepped up, solidified themselves, and now they're attracting players of this ilk while they're not out of their prime. So what it does do is it shows well for Luton. Do they get anything like the guy that played for Blackpool and stormed the Championship years ago? They will hope so. It remains to be seen. But I like the idea on paper. Tom Ince into Luton. And do not say Dyke is the rule here. They've been very clear. Pronounced DK. This is Daryl DK. 20-year-old American international. Joins Barnsley with an option to purchase. So Barnsley and Swansea using this MLS route, or route as they would say over there. 6'2" striker, aged 20 years old. 8 goals and 4 assists. Lots of numbers there. As you can imagine, I know nothing about the player, but I do know that Valerian Ismail likes to play 3 up top. He's liked Woodrow, Adebayo, who are kind of physical strikers, as well as sort of dribblers like Chaplin or Freeser, perhaps. So he'll join that attacking roster, and we'll see how he does. The American invasion coming in this transfer window. Iain Valery in from Southampton to Birmingham on loan. Only 21 years old. French youth international, it says. They're a defender. So where he fits in terms of Birmingham, I don't know. Karanka loves defending. He's been using San Jose there. He's brought in George Friend as well. He's played a lot of games. Almost like he just wants to have his complete own back four and defence here. So maybe people like Roberts and Dean are being gradually phased out. We will see whether and how soon Iain Valery gets on the pitch. They're not entirely sure what Karanka has got planned there. Kike Simmons there, or Kayendra, if I'm pronouncing that right, from Manchester City. Now, I think there's a fee being paid here. A 19-year-old from Manchester City, a versatile forward. Interesting, don't know too much about the player, but the fact that the other chap, Cosgrove, as well, they've dropped probably the thick end of £2.5 million on a couple of attacking players there. So Trillion are giving Karanka money, and we'll find out whether it's been spent in the right way. So good luck to Keke, don't know what I'm saying there. Simmons in from Man City to Birmingham. Harry Pickering, Crew have now sold both their fullbacks after Perry NG went to Cardiff a couple of weeks ago. He was the right back. This is the left back, although he is going back to Crew on loan until the end of the season. So we won't be seeing him in the Championship this season. Barry Douglas in that position at the moment. We'll see going forward, but looks like a good deal and highly rated at Crew, obviously, and a fee as well on that one. We won't get into that, undisclosed. Taylor Harwood Bellis, who sounds, I don't want to be snooty here, sounds like sort of a posh name that they would use in the young ones or something like that. But hey, we will not judge people on their name. That would be grossly unfair. 19-year-old centre-back, another one from Manchester City's youngsters like Simmons into Birmingham. Has been at City since the age of 6. There we go. First team debut last season. A dominant defender. And they've been short at centre-half, haven't they? I saw in the flesh them play Bradley Johnson at centre-back. They brought Jared Braithwaite in there to help with Lenihan and Ayala. And here comes Harwood Bellis and obviously Tony Mowbray. A good guy to work with if you are a centre-back, because he himself was an excellent centre-back. Good luck to Taylor Harwood Bellis. At Blackburn, Sam Field, West Brom to QPR. I think he went to Charlton last season on loan. Sort of fairly physical central midfielder, if I remember from seeing him in the flesh. Some extra options for QPR there, and Mark Warburton, who had that great win last night against Watford in that midfield area, where I think Tom Carroll's out for a fair while. So Steph Johansson has dropped into that sort of depth for QPR as well. Field, some championship experience, and a young player at West Brom. We'll see how he goes there. Love this one. Mick McCarthy signs Johnny Williams for literally the 5th time. I mean, he came on loan to Ipswich 3 times. Williams goes into Cardiff. At his best, Williams, a brilliant creative number 10, a dribbler who can, create something out of nothing. At his worst, poor guy, just couldn't get him on the pitch at Ipswich, and because of his kind of size and the way he plays and invites tackles, he's just had so many injuries that it's been really hard for him. I'm sure a lot of people saw on the Sunderland Netflix thing. So Williams says himself there in the quotes there, he played his best football. Oh no, I didn't put that on the screen, but when I was reading the article, he said he played his best football under McCarthy. It's just, can they get him on the pitch? Good luck to him. Nice guy, but some real horrible injury problems over the years for Williams. Lewis Wing has gone from Boro to Rotherham. I like this. I like Rotherham's business as well. Ryan Giles, Lewis Wing, players that will improve that squad and can play in the first team. Wing, good player for Middlesbrough. Scored a load of goals for them, particularly under Woodgate last season. Good long-range shooter. Get forward from central midfield and help you out there. Saw him score an absolute belter against Luton in the flesh last season. I like it. I'm surprised Warnock is not using him, but if he can't get in the team and sort of Morsey and Saville and Howson are holding down those positions, then it makes some sense. I think Rotherham will benefit from having him. Thumbs up for that one from me. Fabio Tavares, Rochdale to Coventry. I think they've paid a fee. Yeah, undisclosed fee there. I guess he's just going to join the ranks at Coventry. Obviously, they've now got Gyökeres on loan, and sometimes they play a 3, don't they? So Biamu would be an actual forward, Godin, O'Hare as well. So there's plenty of options in that area of the pitch for Coventry. So you'd imagine he comes in and the long term will try and work his way, especially given they've dropped a fee, and more innovative recruitment from Coventry as well, not just loaning players for 3 months from big clubs. We've gone to Ross County and paid a fee, and gone to Rochdale and paid a fee. So the recruitment's been good at Coventry recently. We'll hope for their sake. This is another good one. Namdi Offerborth has gone back to Wycombe. He was there last season, Bournemouth midfielder. It's actually been announced this morning, since I've made all the slides, he signed a pre-contract with Rangers. So he's got 100% not got a future at Bournemouth. He's off to Rangers at the end of the season. Wycombe obviously languishing now, like 11 points adrift. So he'll see if he can pep up their midfield, and known to the club, obviously having been there last season, a sensible addition by Gareth Ainsworth. And you can see there, we have gone all the way round. We did it. Now, let me just quickly say, to stop any tears in the comments, Rob Glatzel has gone out from Cardiff. I guess that's wage cutting. He's gone on loan back to Germany. Norwich have signed Riley from Bolton, a young midfielder. He probably won't get near the first team, so I didn't make mention of it. Sean Wright Phillips' son has gone to Stoke, which makes me feel very old, because Ian Wright was one of my heroes. So that'll be his granddad. And his grandson is now playing for Stoke. And as was mentioned to me a few times in the stream yesterday, the children of Pochettino and Bergkamp are now both at Watford. That is it. I think, there we go. I managed to do it in about 30 minutes. Yesterday's transfer deadline deals all summed up, tied up with a bow. Obviously, if there were very, very late deals done last night, and I'm thinking possibly Caden Jackson from Ipswich to Huddersfield, we know there was a deal sheet put in for that. There may still be a couple of announcements today of stuff that's done and they want to just do their photographs and their publicity, and they're going to do it this morning rather than last night. So there may still be a couple, but hopefully, as I say, we can tie that up with a bow. The transfer window is done. Not much in the way of deals with fees. Lots and lots of loans. Josh King, the big one, out. For the likes of Norwich and Watford, no Ismail Assar leaving or no Emi Buendia leaving. So those are big things in their own right, that in this market there wasn't a big gold rush and huge bids in that were, not able to be turned down for those players. In the main, loans, lots of stuff done at Derby. Preston and Ben Davis was a big story as well, out to Liverpool. And we'll see in the coming weeks how all these players fit in. And honestly, I'm glad that's over. That is the transfer window done. Get your comments in on any of those deals. And I'm going to go and sit in a dark room and not think about any transfers for at least the next 5 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.